Hey, YouTube. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching me from. This is Pro Storyline. Please, as you tune in, thank you and you're welcome. Make sure you subscribe, share this live. If it's your first time, I really want to say thank you for stopping by. And if you're just returning, thank you again for tuning in. Today we're going to discuss domestic violence. Okay, we're going to talk about domestic violence. A lot of things is really going on. Even in Nigeria, over the weekend, we know what happened. Like, the internet is still buzzing because of what happened. The case between Regina Daniels and her husband, Senator Ned Nwoko. So on that note, I just want to talk about domestic violence, because most times people in relationship might be abusing each other, but they don't know that actually they are abusing each other. You might just want to do something thinking you're doing the right thing as a partner towards your own, the other person, not knowing in a way you are abusing the person. So on that note, we're going to talk about domestic violence. I'm going to wait in the next how many minutes to get people on file so that we can discuss this, because I'm going to dissect it. I'm going to dissect domestic violence to everybody's understanding tonight. You get to know the forms they come. You get to know, if you're guilty of being an abuser without knowing. Hey guys, you're welcome to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Today we're going to talk about domestic violence. And if you're in Nigeria, you know what's going on currently. Like, over the weekend, the internet have been, on fire over a case of Regina Daniels, an actress that got married to a very old man. She's just about 25, and she got married to a man that is like 64 currently. And this man happens to be a lawmaker, a senator in Nigeria. Over the weekend, she was beaten by this man, and it was a case of trying to correct her for her mistakes. But we're gonna know if that kind of correction is actually correction or an abuse. So you're welcome to the channel. If you're just tuning in for the first time, make sure you subscribe and like this live. I have somebody here, Minam. Hi, can you do a backflip? Please, I'm not discussing a backflip tonight. Where are you from? I'm from Nigeria. Welcome to the channel. Please subscribe, give us a like. Like I said, I'm domestic violence, so I want everybody that is on queue to listen up. If you're up to 18, if you're a husband, if you're a boyfriend, if you're a girlfriend, your wife, you're even a father, a mother, you should, you get to learn something today. It's Natsu. Hi, it's Natsu. You're welcome to the channel. Please, can you subscribe? I'm not getting no like. Can you subscribe and then like. So I'm discussing about domestic violence. Domestic violence, okay, as everybody knows, is any form of abuse. Okay, any form of abuse that occurs in a domestic setting, especially such as marriage, domestic settings such as marriage, or people that are in a relationship cohabiting. So it comes in many forms. Okay, it's any form of violence, any form of abuse. Instead, it's any form of abuse that occurs in a relationship, be it marital or non-marital relationship. I will always voice out my opinion on domestic violence, or call it gender-based violence. When I talk about gender-based violence, it's just a two-way thing. Men abuse women, women abuse men. It happens. So domestic violence is actually something that that takes forms of violence, kind of call it physical abuse, and those sex comes in form of hitting, slapping, kicking, and all of that, which is not okay. So if you've been doing certain things to your partner, especially there are some countries in this world, I'm sorry to say, some um, Eastern countries like the Arabs, most of them are in the based on their cultural practices and call it religious practices, a way of correcting a woman, their wives could, you know, eventually lead to them hitting the wife to trying to correct a particular mistake the wife made. And I think that's in a way an abuse. You slapping your wife, slapping your partner is an abuse, and you should not be doing it. Just in case you never know or you never knew, it's an abuse. It is an abuse. So that's a domestic violence. That's a victim. Your wife you're hitting is a victim. And if you're a wife and you hit your husband, you know, in any way, any physical violence you met on your husband or your boyfriend, that is an abuse. So the second part of domestic, you call it this, the second phase of domestic violence, or the second way domestic violence comes in, is emotional abuse. This happens a lot. Okay, it happens a lot. Um, if you insult your partner, like, get the fuck out of here, you know, that's an insult. It's an insult, and you doing that is very terrible. You just abuse the person, and it shouldn't be so. It should not be so. Or you try to downgrade the person or whatever. Maybe she's trying to do something and you like trying to rubbish what she's doing. That's an abuse. Yeah, if abusing your partner emotionally, you're abusing your partner psychologically, because the things you say to her, especially women, when you say something to a woman, she will grab that to her head, and she will keep and recalling, remembering what you told her over time. It will take a very long time for her to forget. It will take a very long time for her to forget. So emotional abuse, you know, or psychological abuse comes in form of insult, constant criticism, criticizing your wife. Anything she does, you know, you don't find anything good in what she does. If she's dressing, you don't like it, instead of you to tell her kindly or you know, in a very good loving way, go and change this clothes, I don't like it. You criticize her in a bad way. You look like an old woman, you look like, what is this? It's wrong. So most people don't know most of the things they do in relationships. You know, probably you're trying to, because the aim of, you know, any form of abuse in domestic violence, call it in domestic violence, is just to assert control over the victim. Whoever that is abusing anybody is trying to, you know, assert a control over the victim. You're trying to rubbish the person, to control the person, for the person to depend on you, for the person to look up to you, for the person to do with, you know, cannot not to do without you. That's all you do. So humiliation is still part of emotional abuse. You know, it affects the psyche of a woman or the man involved, the victim, you know. So if you humiliate someone, probably maybe it happens a lot in Africa. It happens a lot in Africa. Like what happened to the senator and the wife. I don't really want to, you know, talk about them, but it's just one of too many scenarios in Africa. Women are not really getting the voice they're supposed to get, because the culture really gives men the power to do whatever they feel like doing, especially in relationship, marital or non-marital relationship. Men have upper hand in Africa to do whatever they like. So because of that, because of the, call it the power dominance, you know, culturally they tend to like subdue the women into doing as, you know, like they want. They subdue the women into depending on them. They subdue the women into, you know, being controlled. So you don't have to say or argue with your husband. You don't have to say or argue with your boyfriend most times in where I'm from. So that's part of it. And so another thing is, another form of emotional or psychological abuse Another form it takes is threats. When you threaten your partner, you threaten your husband, you threaten your boyfriend, you threaten your girlfriend, trying to, if you do this, we'll see what I'll do to you. And the person will call in and not, you know, be himself. You already threatening the person, threatening your victim. Now she's or he is, like this. You're controlling the person. You're welcome to the channel, guys. Please be like. I can see somebody saying it's not to say, sis, you look stunning. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. At Tiru Krish. Hi, welcome to the channel. Please subscribe, guys. Make sure you subscribe. So today we're talking about domestic violence, okay? And this is being inspired by what happened over the weekend in Nigeria. There's a sitting lawmaker, a senator, okay, in the Federal Republic of Nigeria that had a fight with the wife, a young wife. The man is like 64 and the wife is 25. So I don't know what happened, but the wife was beaten, abused. So because of that, internet have been going gaga about the incident. For a senator, somebody, a lawmaker that is breaking the law, does it really make sense? So on that note, most people try to, when the man came out, he was like saying that he's trying to correct, his statement is, is stemming from the side of, I'm trying to correct my wife. And how do you correct your wife without abusing her as a man? So on that note, I'm just discussing about domestic violence and the forms they come. All right. I'm not Tiro Krish. Well, what's your name? Where are you watching from? Can I know where you're watching from? Tyro Krish. Can I know where you're watching from? So another form of emotional abuse or psychological abuse takes is manipulation. You try to manipulate a woman into doing things, or you try to manipulate somebody that you're in a relationship with into doing things that on a normal day or normal ground, being himself or herself, she wouldn't do it. You're trying to manipulate the person into doing things. That's an abuse. It is an abuse, okay? Oh, Diva K. Hi, how are you? Welcome. How is your area? How is India tonight? You're welcome. So glad to have you. So I'm talking about domestic violence, if you can follow me. Another form it takes is verbal abuse. Okay, people that are in relationship abuse each other verbally, and those it comes in form of probably you're angry, you're yelling at your partner. That's an abuse. You should stop. If you're angry, you should maybe walk away, because you might say something you're not supposed to say. So you just walk away that minute. It also comes in form of using demeaning languages like insults. Get the fuck out of here. You this, you that. Name calling. It's terrible. You shouldn't do that. It also comes in form of threats. All right. You shouldn't do that. Tiro Krish, you're distracting me. Says the way you say my name is nice and I feel good. The accent is different. However, I like this accent. Thank you. Thank you so much, Diva K. So verbal abuse is part of domestic violence. It shouldn't be yelling. You shouldn't be insulting your partner. You shouldn't be using intimidating tone. The tone of your voice really matters. Especially with somebody you're in a relationship. You shouldn't raise your voice at someone. You should not. Raising voice in a relationship, probably especially when you are having an argument, or it's a normal thing, but try to dominate, try to control your feelings, try to control your emotions. And using threats too is also a form of domestic violence. People should know this. So I'm moving to the next part. Another form domestic violence comes in is sexual abuse. Sexual abuse. So I've heard somebody, a married man said, that the wife used sex as a weapon. How what was he saying? Then whenever he's in the mood to maybe be with the wife will be like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. Okay, maybe you give me this or that, which is not supposed to be so. That's an abuse on the part of the man. The husband is actually a victim in there. Or another, sexual abuse is, forcing somebody into sexual activities when the person doesn't want to. That's an abuse. Supposed to force or coerce somebody into something, an intimate session the person doesn't want to get involved in. All right, so that's part of it. Divake says, do you think domestic violence is happening only for girls? No, if you're following me, I said no, it's a two-way thing. Okay, men abuse women, women abuse men in relationships. Like I use an example of somebody that told me about the wife using, sex, intimacy with the husband as a weapon. Most of the time is in the mood, she be like, I'm tired, or giving one excuse or the other. So it's not just violence against women or abuse against women. It's a two-way thing. Women get abused in relationship, men get abused in relationship. Everything is just to assert this authority over the victim. Okay, to assert authority over the victim. The aim of all the abuse is just to make the person the victim under whoever that is abusing him or her. Okay, so it's a two-way thing. Men abuse women, women abuse men. I hope I answered your question. Okay, that's it. Another part, another form domestic violence comes in is financial or economic abuse. Oh God, you need to come to Africa. Most people that are in, I think, oh my God, most of the things men in Africa do and then get away with, if they try that thing in places like the US or maybe the UK, I don't think most of them will be living behind bars, will be spending their days in jail. So financial and economic abuse, is just, somebody trying to control the inflow of finances into the victim's life. It could come in form of, for instance, a woman and a man in a relationship. The man is trying to talk the woman into not working, into not, making her own money, only to just to control her, just to control, her financially, to control the economic activity in her life. It happens a lot. Like in Africa, you see a woman that have gone to school, you know, she has everything it takes to be maybe a director of a company, but because of, fear of being higher than husband, the husband having fear of, her being higher than him in a way, or, being more exposed than him, we just tell the woman, you don't have to work, you stay at home. Don't worry, whatever you need, I will provide you with. Do you think domestic violence is happening only for girls? I think I answered this question. I did answer that question. So controlling access to money, and then deny your partner employment is an abuse. So you have to stop it. If you're in a relationship with a man or a woman and she wants to work, allow her. If she wants to get into business, allow her. Or if he wants to do certain things, encourage the person instead of abusing the person. Okay. Another thing is, you're forcing your partner to be financially independent on you. I don't like that part. I don't like that part, because like my Bible tells me two are better than one. If two comes together, this one is working, this other one is working, and then they can build a castle. That's for me. I don't know about it, but denying your partner that wants to work, you know, not allowing the partner to work is an abuse. You should stop it. Okay. And then forcing the person to depend on you financially is an abuse. Most people don't know. So I'm just bringing it to your notice today that if you force your partner that is willing to work or willing to do a business, you deny her access, you deny him that access to doing what he wants to do, to bring, to make him financially independent. If you deny him that access, you just abused. That's your partner. She's a victim. He's a victim of your. He's a victim of you. Your control, your financial abuse. Okay, let's move to the other part of form it comes again. Domestic violence comes in so many parts, so many forms or patterns. Another form it comes is digital abuse. Most times people are just having, people that are in a relationship have a misunderstanding. Before you know it, you see the flooding internet. They're texting, harassing each other, stalking each other on the net, telling the whole world how this one happened, something that happened in secret. You're bringing it to, the glow for everybody to know. That's an abuse, and it's called digital abuse. You shouldn't do that. Most of us, I would say personally, I don't know if I'm guilty of that one. Am I? I'm not. But in a way, when I read about these things, I was like, wow. Because most of us, when we hear domestic violence, we just think it's hitting somebody, hitting your partner and then fighting and all of that. It takes so many forms. So I hope you learned today. Rajkan, hi. Hi. How are you? And how is your day? How is your night going? So the digital abuse, let me just tell you the forms it comes in. Going to internet to stalk a partner, stalk your, somebody, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, because people have a misunderstanding. Monitoring your partner's calls, text messages, their internet activities without their consent. That is an abuse. If they don't give you access to their phones, they don't give you access to their emails, they don't give you access to their calls, okay, they don't give you that consent to go into their personal, you call it their private thing, you shouldn't get involved. You shouldn't. For you to break in, you just abuse their privacy. For you to monitor the calls, and the thing is that once you start monitoring calls, definitely if you start digging into their text messages, whatever you're looking for, you will find. That's the truth. Whatever mistake, whatever failure, whatever cheating, whatever you're looking for, definitely you will find. So to save yourself the stress, the heartache, the pain, the emotional pain, because it will come with pains, especially if you're so vested in that person emotionally. Don't monitor anybody's call. Just be very free. Just trust. And then move on. So if you monitor calls, social media activities without the consent of your partner, that's an abuse, and it's called digital abuse. So if you've been doing it, you have to stop it. Divake says in India 70% of women wouldn't like to work because a mother is basically housewife, even if they have qualified, even if they are qualified for jobs. So seeing them, most of them are not willing. Only that's because Divake, I think that's because the men call it's been influenced, that kind of behavior is being influenced by the culture of India. Probably the men always want their wives to be housewives. They always want them to be caregivers, at home, managers at home. That's a job anyway. That's a job, because it's not easy to shuttle around activities in the house. You cook, you clean, you take care of the kids, you take them to school. That's a job itself, and the women deserve some pay. They deserve some pay on that. But if somebody is willing, if she's willing to work, then allow her. If she doesn't want to work, okay. And if you think as a husband you can take care of her, why not allow her? Just let her be. But the only thing is that you shouldn't, prevent her from working when she says she wants to work. Even when she's qualified, you shouldn't stop her. You shouldn't stop her. It's still the other way around. If your husband wants to work a particular job, you shouldn't stop him from, as far as he's willing, he wants to do it. Allow him. Rashka says, I am sleeping now. Good night. Take care. All right, Rash. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Divake says, if people love truly, then they don't need to privacy with the loved ones. Well. I don't, even God have secrets. Okay, God loves us all very much. Okay, but He has His own secret. The reason why people keep secrets is just because they don't want to expose their weakness. Maybe you don't want to expose that part of them that is weak, because there are certain things that you reveal to someone, and then your downfall will come from there. For example, if you're a Christian, let me use the issue, the event of Samson and Delilah. Samson was a Jew that grew his hair, and the power, he was a very strong man, so the power he had was in his hair. He knew that all the strength in his body came from his hair, and he's been keeping that secret. It's only his mom that knew it. Was a couple of people in the family that truly loved him knew it, but he's been keeping that secret for a long time till he grew into an adult, and then got involved in a relationship with Delilah. At some point, he was fighting, winning wars and all. One day, when he got involved with this woman started asking him, where are you getting all your powers from? He kept lying, would tell the woman this and that. The woman would try to the final day he told this woman that, ever since he was born, they've not cut his hair, and that the power, the strength he has is in his hair. That was the downfall of Samson. That's how Samson was destroyed. The woman set him up, and then the Philistine, right, came and then cut Samson's hair, and the strength was gone. We know how, if you read the Bible, if you're a Christian, all right, you know how that ended Samson's career as, call it, a warrior, ended his strength, destroyed him automatically. It ended Samson. Some people keep secret because they don't want people to know their weaknesses. They don't want people to know their weaknesses, and you can't just trust anybody. That's it. Diva says, yes, trust is fine, but still, what and why need to hide something from your loved ones? Nothing is bigger than the loved one, including privacy. I will be transparent in my life. I expect the same. Yeah, if it's okay, yourself, Diva K. Some people have so many sheets in their cupboard, and they have to lock it up. You may be a very plain person, very transparent person, but others are not like that. Okay, others are not like that. You see some partners, when they go home, like in Nigeria, most husbands, they married a wife, but they still have what they call side chick, a mistress outside. And most of them treat their wives at home, like slaves. They look down, they humiliate, they do all sort of nonsense to their wives. And most times when they come back like that from work, the ones that have cars, they will stay outside, make calls, one long calls before they come inside the house, which is not okay. So they have so many sheets in their cupboard, and they need to lock it up. And as a partner, you don't have to dig too deep, because if you dig too deep, you start discovering things that will hurt your feelings, things that will make you not feel okay. So in a way, just do without it. don't don't go texting, don't go checking. Just, I've trained myself to be that way anyway. So the next one is social abuse. Okay, sometimes you just got married, you used to be this social person, somebody that used to love life. You go to events, you had friends, you used to hang out with friends, but immediately you got married or you entered into a relationship with a particular person, he or she tries to cut you off from your friends, from your families. It happens. I don't know about in your country, but in Nigeria it happens. It happens. That's why I always tell people, before you get married, know who you get married to. You have to understand each other very well. You have to know each other. You have to, test and, find out if you can cope with the lifestyle after marriage, because like they always say here, a broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. So it's better that relationship breaks if you know you can't in the long run survive in it, than to get married and then come out. I don't like that part. It's better relationship breaks than marriage to break. So if you are in a relationship with somebody trying to, or you as a partner, you're trying to prevent your other partner from socializing, especially if you met her that way, you're trying to cut her off from her friends, to cut her from her families, you're trying to cut her, from social activities. You're abusing her. You're abusing him. You want to prevent your boyfriend from having friends or people that used to hang around with, people that used to be there for him. You're trying to prevent him from being with them anymore because simply people are in a relationship together. You are an abuser. You should stop. All right? You should stop. Another form domestic violence actually takes is, I think that's the last one. Spiritual or cultural abuse. Sometimes maybe I'm a Christian, you're a Muslim, you tr- you're trying to mock me or mock my religion, like disrespect my religion. That's an abuse. Okay, just trying to mock me or rubbish my religion so that your own religion will stand out as the best. You just abused me, because in a way it will affect me. Domestic violence is a thing, and it comes in different shapes and different patterns, different forms. And I hope you learned something today. It comes in, financial abuse, digital abuse, financial, when you try to control the economic activity of your partner, trying to make your partner to be dependent on you economically. That's an abuse. Digital abuse, when you harass on the digital platforms, that's an abuse. Culturally, when you try to prove a point that you're better than your partner culturally, probably where you're from, people are the best, trying to you be demeaning, that's an abuse. When you sexually are, abuse or coerce, force your partner into several activities that he doesn't want, that's an abuse. Or you physically hit the person, beat, slap, kick, choke, all those things. Those ones, I think that's the one we're really familiar with. Once they talk about domestic violence, people always think it's beating, slapping, kicking, choking. It's not just that. It comes in different forms: emotional and psychological abuse. When you use foul language at your partner, when you try to humiliate the person, use threatening words, yell, insults, it's not okay. That's an abuse. Verbal abuse, when you yell, when you insult, that's an abuse. So I hope you learned something. So my question now to you guys would be, at what point do you think somebody that is facing all of these things I just mentioned should walk away? At what point you say, no, no, I can't take it anymore? Is the person supposed to walk away? So Divake, I hope you're still there with me, and whoever that is watching. I'm having only two likes. Guys, like, like my life. Okay, it's still there. Divake is still there. So that's just it. Over the weekend, there's this. I was trying to tell you guys about this girl. This girl is just too young, and I feel as a man of the house, if at all you came across, you want to go meet your wife, and then you discovered your wife is behaving or doing something that you don't like, are you supposed to hit her? Men in the house, can you answer that question? Are you supposed to correct your wife? You go to meet your wife and you discovered that your wife is doing something that is not okay, are you supposed to hit your wife? How are you supposed to correct your wife? How do you correct your wife or your partner? Divake, are you there? How do you correct your wife or your partner? Because I know over here men have so much power. They will hit and beat, and when the council of colleges come, they will sit down and then still give power to the man that he did the right thing. So at what point do you think a man supposed to, or a woman is supposed to probably walk away in an abusive relationship, or how is a man supposed to correct a partner when she's wrong? Who's there with me? Everywhere is dry. Who is there? You're welcome to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. I am Iman. I am Iman. Guys, you're welcome to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Excuse me. So Diva says, yes, trust is fine, but still, what and why you need to hide something from your loved ones? People hide. Nothing is bigger than the love one, including privacy. That's for you, Diva, not for everybody. People are different. People are really different. Could be a very good person, but others are not like that. So if you're just tuning in, this is Pro Storyline. We're just talking about domestic violence and all the forms they come: verbal abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. Those are the forms they come. Digital abuse, cultural, religious abuse. It comes in different forms, but I know we only have like always think the violent parts, which is the hitting, the slapping, the choking. It comes in different. We in a way are guilty of domestic violence in relationships. In a way, almost all of us. So guys, let me know what you think, or do you have any discussion to anything to talk about? Let's discuss. Okay, you still there? Diva K is still there. So guys, I think I'm done with my little lecture. I just felt like, so many things is going on. Women, men are suffering, and it's not supposed to be like that in relationships. You're supposed to enjoy your relationship with whoever you're with and not endure. So I felt, it's just too much. People are fighting before now, our grandmothers used to enjoy themselves, I don't know how they survived. I don't know. But I think in those days it was relationships were better than it is right now. Vish Wajit, hi. How are you? You're welcome to the channel. Please subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Give this channel a like. Come on now. Give this channel a like. Vish Wajit, where are you watching from? Where are you watching from? Okay. Vish Wajit says he is good. Vish Wajit says good. So where are you watching from, Vish? Which part of the world are you watching from? Please subscribe to the channel if this is your first time. I don't think I've seen it before. Make sure you subscribe and then like this live. Which part of the world are you watching from? Vish, are you still there? So in the next, I think, call it 15 minutes, I'll be off. I just want to stream for like 1 hour and then take a break. So far so good. Let me thank a couple of people that tuned in tonight, though we not much, but I appreciate your support. Ahami Imam, thank you so much for coming by. Ishnatsu99, thank you for coming. Tiruki Krish, that's Divake. Thank you so much, Divake, for all the support. You're the best. Rashka said he's sleepy, he needs to sleep. I understand it's like dead night over there in India. Thank you so much. um wish Wajit, wish Wajit, thank you for stopping by. I haven't seen you before, but I hope you subscribe to the channel. I hope you did. So guys, if you have any question on domestic violence, just throw it to the comment section. Let me see and try my best to answer you. Meanwhile, still on a mission to get this channel to 1000k. So far so good. They're doing amazingly well, and I'm thanking you. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the subscriptions, and thank you for all the likes. Thank you for everything. I think when I started live like 3 weeks ago, we had like 100 plus subscriptions, but currently we're like almost 800, and I can't thank you guys enough so much. Thank you so much. um Thank you so much. So if you're just tuning in, make sure you subscribe to the channel. This is Pro Storyline. We discuss domestic violence, the forms, the pattern, the ways they come in relationship, and we know that domestic violence is any form of abuse that exists in a relationship. It's a marital relationship or non-marital relationship, and I already told you guys that it takes forms like verbal abuse, psychological or emotional abuse, financial abuse, financial economic abuse, uh, sexual abuse, cultural, religion abuse or religious abuse kind. It comes in different digital abuse. The aim is always to assert dominance over the victim. We know that dominance, control over the victim, and it's not okay. So the aim of this live, or the inspiration, is just what happened over the weekend between a Nigerian senator and the young wife. And the aim of this live is just to enlighten people, on the forms, because you might be doing things to your partner not knowing that you are abusing the person, trying to do those things. So just to bring to light the forms, the patterns these abuses come, so that if you do them, you stop it. Or if you want to do them, you stop yourself from doing it, because you're abusing someone. And you wouldn't like it if somebody does the same to you. So subscribe, guys. Let me know what you think. I don't know what's going on in your own area. Somebody tried to tell me what's going on in their own area, that women don't want to work. And I think that could be influenced by, the cultural practice or the religious aspect of that society. That's India. Women don't want to work because, they want to be at home being housewives. It happens. Even in the Middle East, most Middle Eastern countries, or most Islamic countries, women don't work. They don't allow women to work. Not in Nigeria here, most Muslim wives, they don't work. They stay in the house and, do the house chores. They are like, what they call them, housewives. They are not allowed. Very few works. So they always the home managers, which is a job to me. So guys, if you're just tuning in this live, make sure you like this live. Like this live. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Dave boy. Dave boy, how are you? How are you? Say hey baby, how are you? Please like the live. I know you already subscribed. You tuned in very late. Why? What happened? How are you today, Dave boy? Dave boy, what happened to you? What made you tune in late? Okay, I'm good. Dave boy says I'm good. You? Well, I am doing great. I'm doing very fine. Thank you. I think you're watching from the USA, right? I can't recall your area. Which location are you watching from? Please like the live, Dave boy. Dave boy, like the live. Come on now. This is for you, Dave boy. Thank you so much. Manchester in the UK. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I think you tuned in a little bit late. I don't know if you've gotten what we discussed. My discussion for the day. There's an event that took place over the weekend here in Nigeria. A lawmaker that hit the wife. Got involved in a domestic violence with the wife, and the thing has been trending. So on that note, I said, okay, let me just lecture my people on, the forms, the pattern domestic violence comes in, because most people might be doing these things and they don't know. And if you follow my lecture, maybe you should rewatch the video, the live, so that you get to know what I was talking about. Boy says, have been busy a lot for the past few weeks. I can tell that you've been busy. Most people are not really tuning in. I guess they're working, and coupled with that, with the fact that our timeline is kind of different. Probably when I'm here, you're maybe at work or something. But it's okay. You're welcome. Welcome. I appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate you for tuning in. So, that boy, you're a Niger guy now, based in the UK. So, what do you think about this Ned Nwoko and Regina Daniels thing? I believe you must have heard one or two. What do you think? What do you think about the whole situation? Yeah, but what do you think about the whole situation as a Niger guy? Are you still there? You see your mouth. He said it was only a matter of time. It was bound to happen. Really? How would you say that? Why? Why would you say such a thing? Why would you do that? It wasn't bound to happen. Just that, some adults are not adulting enough. Seriously, some adults are not adulting enough. Like somebody in that class, you should be very conscious of this girl is a very young girl. Like you are, like maybe 40 years or very close to 40 years older than her. Do you understand? And then you met her doing something you don't like. Are you supposed to beat her and then send talks? It's not okay. The boy says, marrying her grandfather who has multiple wives. I wonder what she was expecting. Well, then, boy, when you shouldn't forget this fact too. You can't really blame. When I was 18 years old, I didn't know nothing. I'm serious. When it comes to relationship, I knew nothing. I knew nothing. And I made some mistakes in relationship I'm not supposed to. If I had known better, if I had call it a guidance or something that guided me, an adult that was directing me, or do this one, don't do that one. Do you understand? But in her own case, her mother is the architect of her problem. A mother. Today I was discussing with my neighbor. I was like, if I were Regina, that man proposed marriage to me, and then maybe I have a fling with him, and then he wanted to marry me, and I told my mom is even encouraging. I would tell my mom already. She wasn't even in the mother is not even married now. They separated. I would tell them, I look at the age now, look at you, go and marry. Let her mother go and marry the man. At least their age is somehow close. Not an 18-year-old to a 60-year-old man because of money. So I can't really blame her. It's just she has a terrible mother. Her mother is terrible. It's very terrible mom. No mom deserves to allow that to happen to to her daughter. Uh, Dave Boy says, marrying her grandfather who had multiple wives. I wonder what she was expecting. The allegations, both of them are guilty if we are factual. But you had a mother who wouldn't allow you to do that. Her mother sold her, exactly. Her mother sold her out for benefits. Her mother sold her out for financial empowerment. And now today she's just coming out crying on internet. It's crazy. It's crazy. May that kind of mothers, it's crazy. And now the mother is helpless. She cannot pull out. The thing is, she cannot pull out from that marriage. You know why? Because she's under an oath. If you see when they were doing that, what they call it, the initiation thing, bringing her this cultural thing they did for her. It was like an oath. They placed her on an oath. She can't come out there, and nobody's going to marry her till death do somebody part. That's the craziest part. And she's still very young, very very young. It's just awful that it happened. It's just awful it happened. Thank you for that contribution, Dave Boy. Thank you so much for that contribution. It makes sense. It shouldn't have beaten her up, which I don't even think is that strong to be able to, like she has claimed. But she abuses drugs, which is factual. Well, I don't agree with them. Oh, I can't really say she's abusing drugs or she's not abusing drugs. Greed got her into whatever is happening to her. Honestly, I don't pity her really. Dave Boy, don't say that. It's not that. It's the mother at 18. Regina knew nothing. She's still, she's still coming up. She doesn't know. I don't think she knew this would happen to her. But the mom should have known better. I pity her in the way that she can't come out of, whatever mess she's in. She can only, like she said, it's better to cry in Guinea than to cry in Keke na Pepe. So it's just for her to, whatever that happens, to while away, and then she continue to enjoy her life and cry in her Lamborghini. It's pitiable anyway. It's pitiable. Thank you for that contribution. But her mom is to be blamed in everything. Her father really kicked against the marriage. There is no defense. If she knew nothing, she wanted to cry in a Lambo now. I think the Lambo thing is when she started coming up. That's when she started making that statement. My dear, see all these people. I don't envy anybody in this life. Like, let's enjoy your life. They go. I don't envy anybody. Thank you so much. Thank you. That boy says, all in all, no man should ever beat a woman. Let me pin that comment. That's a powerful statement. Thank you so much, Dave Boy. Nobody should abuse, put his hand on anybody. What that man should have done, being an older person and even a lawmaker, should have been, you know, if you want to take her, it's not like any other country. You can just force her into a car and then take her to rehab, which is somehow abusive too, because you can't take her out of her own will, willingness to go to rehab. And what even make her to get to drugs? What makes her something? That means there's something that's going on in the house that must have pushed her, maybe abusing her psyche. And then to calm her, the tension down, she's using drugs to calm herself down. That means the environment is not even conducive for her to stay. Exactly. The boy says if Nigeria is a sane country, that man should have been suspended from the Senate. He doesn't even need to be suspended. He would have resigned. If Nigeria were to be a good country, if it were to be like a place like America, I think they will, because number one, he said she's abusing drugs. So you, as a lawmaker, you know that your wife is into something that is prohibited in the country, something narcotics, and then you harbor her. You even know you knew the supply of drugs. He even implicated himself. You knew everything that is going on, and then you can't call the law enforcement. If it's Nigeria were to be a better country, okay, network is supposed to be behind bars, probably tonight. Therefore says nothing pushes them to do drugs. It's all about access to it. They can afford their drugs, so they abuse it. Really? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I've never say I don't know. I don't know. Well, I don't know. But me, I just think something must have pushed her into, like, a young girl like that. I don't know if you know Priscilla Ojo. When you see fellow young girls getting married to young boys and then they are living their best of life, the same life you are living with an older man. It's not to, wallahi, it's something that would drive you crazy, like wishing you had waited. And then because she's just how old, 24? Do you understand? 24 years is just too young. You know, she's beautiful, she's fair. You know, Nigeria made a like fair skin, light skin girls. So definitely she's in the market. She should have gotten a very good bidder that would take her home. So I think things like that must have, you know, crossed her mind. You know, seeing younger girls living their best life with younger men, and she's been in one old man's house that is married to multiple wives. Those kind of things could just push her into, you know, addiction. It's crazy. Their boy says exactly a lawyer and a lawmaker. Oh, is that equally a lawyer? I don't know that it's a lawyer. That's Nigeria for you. That's Nigeria for you. Because it's high and mighty. Because it's high and mighty, you know, the rule of law is not respected in the country. It's only for the, you know, the poor people that are supposed to respect the law, you know, be law abiding. But the rich ones, they can do anyhow they like and get away. All in all, make money in Nigeria and then you can live anyhow you want. It's crazy. The boy says, in that their matter, I won't is it support it party, okay? She has put herself and life into a hot soup because she was a celebrity and didn't even have any business mind at my ear. That's why I don't. I really agree with you. Seriously, I agree with you. She didn't have any she didn't have any business, like you said, getting married to that man. It's just the mother that pushed her. If you notice, you know, there's this video that surfaced some months back, but it resurfaced after this incident. You know, I don't know what Ned, I didn't even pay attention to what Ned was saying, but somehow Ned was like talking, and then she's like, please, oh, you're my everything. And then the mom was like, kneel down, and she knelt, you know, she was, you're my everything, or grabbing the man. The man was like this, like shoving her away, and then she's like grabbing, and the mother is telling her, kneel down. I said, why now, mama, why now? You're supposed to be the one marrying this man, not your young girl. Which kind? My mom would never try it with me. So are you a Yoruba girl? No, I'm not a Yoruba. I'm an Akwa Ibom. I'm from Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom State. From Ikote Pene. I'm not a Yoruba girl. So it's the mother that really, you know, lured her into that. Told her what the, you know, the sweetest thing. You know, her life is gonna change. They use that as a sacrificial lamb for the family. Again, it's over. She can't go back because she's under an oath. And if she tries doing anything funny, she might. Bye. That's the bad side of the whole thing. So I think we are like 1 hour 4 minutes. I wanted to stream for like 1 hour. I might be going. Hey boy, thank you so much for all the contributions. It really made sense tonight. It really made sense tonight. Thank you so much for all the contributions. Diva K, thank you so much for all the contributions. Thank you for tuning in as well. All the likes, all the subscriptions, all the love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It really makes sense. So on that note, I have to say good night to you. Dave boy, are you still there? I'll be going right now because it's an hour stream that I wanted to do, and I've gone beyond an hour. So all of you have a blessed night, have a good night. I'll see you on our next stream. All right, take care of you. Bye.